today's episode of Sacred Harmony, we welcome Blake Lefkoe, belief elimination facilitator and legacy bearer of the Lefkoe Method. If you've ever felt trapped between patterns of fear, anxiety, or the need of overachieve, this conversation is for you. Blake's work dives into the core of human suffering, not just treating symptoms, but dissolving the limiting belief at the root. Prepare to the journey beyond mindset into soul set. Welcome to the show, Blake. It's an honor to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mhm. So, Blake, many people talk about changing beliefs, but your work goes deeper into eliminating them entirely. Can you walk us through what makes belief elimination different and powerful?
Yeah. So a lot of people try and talk themselves out of beliefs. So things like affirmations or different coping or managing skills and tools. So when you get triggered, here's the things you're supposed to do: take your breaths, tell yourself every day that you are good enough. But it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of work. Whereas if you get to the root and you eliminate the belief, then those triggers are nullified. You don't have to talk yourself into anything. You don't have to reframe anything. You don't have to remember to change your perspective. You don't have to do affirmations because that belief no longer exists. So the stimuli that triggers it is void. It's void. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And what's a belief most people don't even realize they're carrying that causes major emotional pain?
The most common belief that almost every one of my clients has, it is the cause for so many different patterns, is I'm not good enough. And some people are aware that they have that belief, some people are not. And what happens is some people aren't aware that they have it because they've created what we call a survival strategy. So, what makes me good enough is achieving or having people think well of me or having a lot of money. And so you spend your life trying to do the thing that you think makes you good enough. And as long as you're doing it, then you feel good enough. The problem is as soon as somebody likes you, I'm sorry, as soon as somebody doesn't like you, or as soon as you're not able to achieve something, then that I'm not good enough pops up. It's like holding a beach ball underwater. It's not sustainable, you can't do it forever. So, when we find the pattern, sometimes people are overachievers or they're people pleasers, and when you realize that what's actually under that belief or what's under that pattern is the belief I'm not good enough, you're able to clear the belief and clear the survival strategy. It doesn't mean you stop achieving, it just means you now have a choice. You don't feel like it runs you. Don't feel like it's what makes you okay or good enough. So, a lot of the time when people have survival strategies tied up in a belief, then they don't realize they have it because they're so busy caught up in that pattern.
And it's incredible how something so silent can shape our entire identity until we consciously release it.
Absolutely.
And fear and anxiety are deeply embedded in so many of us. How does belief work shift the nervous system, not just the thoughts in our mind?
So, we are all energy, right? We're vibration. That's what everything in this world is. And the level, the frequency that you're vibrating at, the different energies that you have is going to change what you attract, how you show up. And our beliefs are responsible for our emotions. People think emotions are responsible for our beliefs, but the beliefs come first. And if you have the belief, I'm not safe, the world isn't safe, people are out to get me, people can't be trusted, then that's what's going to show up for you, and your nervous system is going to be regulated to that. As these beliefs fall away, what shows up is different. Your nervous system is different. Your energy is different. Your vibration is different. I once eliminated the belief I'm not safe with a client, and she had had a really traumatic childhood, just unbelievable amounts of trauma. And she had carried this belief her whole life. And when we eliminated it, it was like watching 50,000 pounds fall off her shoulders. She looked different. She sat up straighter. Her face looked different. Her energy, her aura, everything about this woman changed. It was visible. And she came back a week later and her life had been different, how she felt, how she thought, what had shown up. So it gets down to a physical level where, mind body connection. It's not it's not all just in your mind. As you eliminate beliefs, it actually changes, like you said, your nervous system, your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, everything changes.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. And have you seen physical healing or energetic transformation as a result of this inner work?
Absolutely. I once had a client who she was having pain. I think it was in her arms. And we found some beliefs, eliminated those beliefs, and the pain went away. And she'd been to doctors, and no one had been able to figure out what was wrong with her. And, we carry our stress in our bodies, we carry our beliefs in our bodies. And so much of what makes us sick is our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs. And so by eliminating those, you are able to create physical healing.
And when healing touches both the brain and the body, that's when true harmony is born.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm. And you work with overachievers and people pleasers, people who look successful but are secretly suffering. What's usually hiding beneath those behaviors?
Everyone's different. Some of the really common beliefs, like I mentioned before, is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. And then the survival strategy for those is, what makes me worthy, what makes me deserving, what makes me good enough, what makes me okay, what makes me important is having people think well of me or is achieving. And those survival strategies we're not aware that we have them. They're formed unconsciously, subconsciously when we're children. And then they continue to run us even though we don't even know they're there. And everyone has different beliefs depending on, their childhood, what traumas they've experienced. But what this work does is you realize that it's not the traumas, it's not the events that are keeping you stuck, because those events are no longer happening. The things that happened to us in our childhood are not happening anymore. But it's the meaning that we give those events that's what causes the beliefs that then keeps those patterns alive and thriving in our lives. So if someone's born into a family where there's a lot of abuse and they're hit, they're yelled at, their needs aren't met, they'll likely conclude things like, I'm not safe, I'm not important, my needs and wants aren't important, other people's needs and wants are more important than mine, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough, all these things. And then they carry those beliefs through their lives. And it feels like it's the wounds from the trauma that are keeping them stuck, but it's actually the beliefs they formed about those traumas that are keeping them stuck and keeping them in those patterns of more toxic relationships or negative self-thought, negative self-talk or fear or anxiety. And it's not. It's the meaning that we gave those events that becomes our truth. We live our life like it's the truth. But what this work does is it breaks those beliefs. You realize that what you actually saw was an event, and you gave that event the meaning, and that's why you hold it as the truth. And now there's a whole process that we go through that does that. It's not quite just that simple. Some people feel like kinesthetic people think that, oh, I know this belief is true because I felt it. And we go through a process that shows you that you felt it because that was the meaning you gave to the event. And so then you had the feeling. And we have people go back and experience giving that event a different meaning. And then the event produces a completely different emotion. And so the emotion didn't prove the belief was true. The emotion was a result of the belief. If that all makes sense.
And that's amazing. Is there a common emotional wound that these high performers carry without realizing it?
Everyone's different. There's often fear, if I don't achieve, then I won't be whatever the belief is, okay, important, good enough, worthy. So I feel like we all know those people who always say, oh, I really want to spend more time with my family. I want to work less and I want to spend more time with my spouse and my kids. And they can't. They want to, but it's so hard for them. That business meeting pops up and they're like, oh, I have to miss the baseball game. I have to go to this meeting. Oh, this work thing came up. I have to stay late. And again, it's okay to achieve, but you want it to be a choice. You want to, in that moment, be able to say, what is more important in this moment? And there's no right answer. Sometimes that meeting is really important and sometimes it's not. But when you feel like what makes you okay is achieving, you have to constantly achieve and put that first. So you get stuck in that cycle. We all know people that have money and they have nice cars and things and houses, but it's never enough. They always need more. It's never enough. And if what you feel like makes you good enough or worthy or deserving is having money, then it's never going to be enough. You always have to strive for more. And I think really what's under so much of that is fear, even if people aren't always aware of it.
Hmm. And so often the world praises what's actually born from deep pain. I love that you help people rewrite that story.
Yeah, because again, we think that we're, I don't necessarily want to say victims, but who we are is a result of our traumas and that we have to carry these wounds. And the truth is, we don't. We can have any story. One of my favorite things to do is when you get clients to a place where they are sustainable, where they're not suffering, where they're not living in dysfunction, then it gets really exciting because now in this place of freedom, you're able to say, amazing. What is it that you want what is it that you want your life to look like? And what's getting in the way of you living it? And you're able to eliminate the blocks that are keeping people from living their dream lives. So many people don't even know what they want because they're so busy surviving and making other people happy. They're so busy achieving. They're so busy doing this that they never stopped and say, wow, what is it that I want my life to look like? Because they're so busy living the life that everyone told them they should live. This is who you should be and what you should do. So this work gives you the freedom to go back and say, well, who was I before this? Or who am I now? And what do I want my life to look like? What do I want more of? What do I want less of? And what's standing in my way of having that? And that to me is just so exciting.
Absolutely. And the mind body spirit connection is central to your approach. How does clearing a belief ripple out to affect the whole system, emotionally, spiritually, even rationally?
I feel like I kind of touched on that earlier. A lot of it's the energetics, and it does reach that physical level. It reduces stress, it can get rid of pain, it can get rid of illness. Beliefs aren't just in your mind, we carry them in our body. And most of the time, when I ask someone to say a belief out loud to see if it resonates, to see if they have that belief, they'll feel it in a part of their body and there will be an emotion alongside of it. So often, you'll be looking at a pattern. So clients come to me and they say, this is what I'm doing that I don't want to be doing. This is what I'm not doing that I want to be doing. This is the emotion that I have. This is the pattern I'm in. This is where I'm stuck. And so we look at underneath, what beliefs would you have that would be causing that pattern? And as we look for the beliefs, when we find them, I'll have the client say them out loud to see if those words feel correct. So I'll have the client say, I'm not good enough. And I'll say, how does that feel? And they'll say, oh, that feels really sad, or I feel queasy. I feel that. I feel a sinking in my stomach, or I feel a tightening in my shoulders. I feel a lot of people have, I'm not safe, and they carry that in their throat. And then we go through the process, we eliminate the belief, and then I have the client say the words again to check and make sure that it's gone. And when they say the words again, there's nothing. That physical sensation is gone and the emotion is gone. And oftentimes people just feel a lot lighter and freer instantly before they even go back to life and see the changes that occur as a result of eliminating that belief.
100%. And how can someone tell if what they are facing is truly a belief issue versus something situational?
Our beliefs determine how we react to situations. They determine our behaviors, our thoughts, and our emotions. So, regardless of the situation, your beliefs are going to determine how you respond to it. So, it's not the situation that is producing thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, it's the beliefs that we have. And what's amazing is as you change your beliefs, the situations you are in start to change. People in your life start to show up differently. And oftentimes you're creating the space for people to show up differently. And you're bringing a different energy. So people respond to that energy differently. You also get to a place in your life where you decide there's certain people, there's certain things, there's certain places that no longer fit in your life. So through doing this work, I got sober. I got out of the restaurant industry. I found my way out of toxic relationships and started making room in my life for different kind of friendships and different kind of partners. And as a result of the work I did, the places that I hung out changed. The people I surrounded myself with changed. My friend group changed. So your situations often change as a result of your beliefs, and the situations you can't change, your family, your parents, things like this, you'll show up differently and be able to respond differently to those situations, or even choose if there's situations you want to put yourself in the first place.
It's refreshing to see belief work treated as energetic alignment, not just cognitive mindset.
Absolutely. This is deep and powerful work, and it has profound results. And I know it personally because I saw my life do a complete 180. And I mean, my sleep changed, my dreams changed, how I parent changed. Getting out of the restaurant industry after 30 years and being able to train in this method and start my own business. The way I was able to show up for my child, my friends. I mean, the relationship that I'm in now is amazing. It's amazing. And I would have never been able to be in a relationship like this the way I was in the past. I would have never been able to create the space for a partner like this to show up. And even if somehow they had, I would have driven them away. It would have never worked. So it is truly amazing work. And the benefits are, like you said, it's spiritual, physical, emotional, behavioral, cognitive, everything. Even, my son's father is someone that I'm going to have to deal with probably for the rest of my life. And no matter how toxic he is, I can't change his behavior. I can't change him, but I change the boundaries that I put up around him and how I allow my interactions with him to go. And by changing myself, I've even created space for him to sometimes show up differently. And our relationship has changed as a result of the work that I've done on myself, even though he has done none on himself. And that's really amazing too. I've seen a lot of my clients have better relationships with people in their lives that don't work on themselves, their parents, their siblings, their neighbors. And we always feel like we're at the effect of everything. We're the victim. It's happening to us. And as you eliminate beliefs, you realize that some things are happening for us to show us what is not working in our lives so we can change it, so that we can live lives that are aligned with our passions and our values and our authenticity, and not just feel like they're happening to us, like we're the victim. You realize that who you really are is the creator of your life, not merely the creation. Because we walk around like who we are is the creation. Who I am is my beliefs. Who I am is not good enough. Who I am is anxious. But that's not who we really are. There had to be an I before there could be an I'm not good enough. There had to be someone to interpret those events that you experienced as a child before there could be the interpretation. And when you realize that who you actually are is the creator of your life, you're able to step into some serious power.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, what's your message to someone listening who feels stuck? Like they've tried everything, but still can't fully feel free or aligned?
Reach out. I have so many clients who come to me. I've tried everything and nothing works. And this works. It really does. And I want to make this work available to everyone. And a lot of people that really need this work are struggling so hard they don't have the money to pay for it. And I do have a sliding scale, and I offer everyone a free consultation, 20, 30 minutes. Reach out, schedule something, send me an email, go to my website. There's my calendar is there. And let's just have a conversation. Tell me what you're going through, and I'll tell you how I can help. If you have doubts or fears, you have questions, anything, just reach out and let's have a conversation, and I can show you how I can help you get from stuck to free, because you don't need to be run by your beliefs. And just because you've tried everything doesn't mean you're broken. And it doesn't mean that nothing will work for you. It just means you haven't found the right modality yet.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes freedom begins with simply questioning what we have blindly accepted for too long.
Absolutely. That's definitely the first step.
So, Blake Lefkoe reminds us that healing doesn't require fixing who we are, but releasing who we are not.
Hmm. Beautiful.
When we eliminate the beliefs that were never ours to begin with, we return something to deeper truth, wholeness, and soulful self expression. So, if you have been carrying fear, chasing validation, or forgetting your own light, maybe it's time to let go and finally come home to yourself.